what can they say to fans to get them excited about next year?
Is even winning going to get you excited?
I think it can,
but it won't for you.
It'll pacify a little bit, right?
I think keeping the streak alive is important.
Yep,
I think it's been a big part of what we do, and I know Homer disagrees.
Homer does, and that's Homer.
Whatever, yeah. It is important. It's something to hang our hat on. And just out at Lincoln this last weekend, they hadn't been, and somebody on our broadcast mentioned 7 years it's been since they made a bowl game, and that's 105 practices that the University of Wisconsin has had that the Nebraska Cornhuskers haven't. That I don't care with roster switching and everything else. That's important, but it's important to have this to kind of hang your hat on as far as, yes, maybe we've had some disappointing seasons recently, but we're still working and progressing towards something. And if this would be a major setback, this has been a tough season. There's no doubt about it. Are we better than we were last year? I would say yes.
Oh, explain that one.
We played Oregon tight, had the number one team on the ropes. Alabama for a half. The schedule was tougher. I think when you look at big picture, I think this offensive line has been much better than what we played last year.
I agree with that one.
I think that part. I think what we saw from Braden Locke with this new offensive coordinator, I thought he played his best game last Saturday. And you might look and say, well, what are you talking about? Well, just look at how I thought he didn't throw the ball in harm's way. The interception that had was a tipped-up pass. I thought played a clean game. I liked the new structure of what we did. There's a lot of things that I think you can say offensively. When you score 27 points, that should be good enough to beat Nebraska. Nebraska's offense, the defense was atrocious on Saturday.
How do you go from holding the number one team in the country with a potential Heisman candidate to 16, and then
tough? I don't have
the sandwich in the middle of Oregon is 42-10, and then there was special teams and other stuff, but the defense was bad against Nebraska.
That's the biggest thing.
My problem is not being able to understand each week what I'm going to get.
Yeah, it's the consistency has been the thing that we've lacked, and you could say, well, emotionally, did the team bounce back after dumping the bucket for Oregon? They didn't. The defense did not. There's no other way to put it, and I don't know if I've seen more missed tackles, and we had Raiola / little mini Mahomes sitting back
giving him
there.
too much
really
credit.
Annoying to watch because he is smug and but we didn't do anything to rattle him at all.
I didn't realize his uncle played at Wisconsin.
Whose?
His Raiola.
Oh yeah,
I didn't realize that Wisconsin.
I don't know what happened at the end of the game because his dad played for the Lions, and then his uncle would have played for Wisconsin. So there's some ties there, but it was defensively that was Hunter not being out there really hurt. There was not. I don't know if the leadership, whatever it was, there just was not the juice, and you saw that right from the jump.
Tausch, no matter how the game goes on Friday, looking forward to next year. Man, the schedule's harder next year than it is this year. So what are we thinking for expectations? Are we thinking
we don't even say? Here's the deal: what's going to happen in the next 6 months? Every team is probably going to be looking at somewhere between 30 and 50% of your roster's gone.
That's the correct answer. You can't look at expectations so you know what you have in today's age.
And this is going to be something fans need to start looking at. And I don't like this. And Benny, I don't think you're going to like it. I don't think any of us are going to like this. The idea of a ton of growth. My career at Wisconsin will not happen in today's day and age. They're not going to have a walk-on that comes for 2 years and works in the weight room and is on the scout team and then earns a scholarship. Those days are gone. It is now immediate, and I think you're going to start seeing you're going to have to be super selective with kids you're bringing in from high school because you need to win now. It is no longer a developmental sport. It is going to be this guy, I need to find this kid from Akron that can come in and jump in right away, or another MAC school that's going to be able to come and be a player. You don't have the luxury of having a ton of young players that you get to grow because if you grow too well, they're going to say, Deuces, you need to figure out how can I manage my roster. I'm going to have my core players that are going to be there for 2-3 years. But the idea of a Jack Nelson, who is here forever, I don't know if we're going to see a lot of those guys moving forward. It is now a year-to-year, really a 8 month to 8 month deal where it is this is your roster, and it is going to look vastly different. So to try and say, well, you're going to get the great thing about making a bowl still is a lot of your young players, you get to evaluate and see, because they're going to be cuts. Yeah, I heard Matt Rule talking. He's got to, I think, get rid of 30 players.
Oh, wow.
Rosters, because they're giving you more scholarships now, right?
No,
From 80 to 105
so there's
scholarships?
going to be 85 scholarships, I think 105 players.
Oh, I thought they gave them more scholarships
so
for less
there's
players.
variance, but I think you're going to start seeing more. You're going to start seeing more very selectiveness about who's getting a scholarship, and is it going to be 1 year? Is it going to be 5 years? Then there's other money that comes in. So this concept of, well, what happens on Friday? Yes, we want to do that because I want to see some of these young offensive linemen get work in bowl preparation. And yeah, you can say, well, it doesn't matter. You play in Detroit, you play in New York, whatever bowl game it would be. You get that practice reps, and you get these guys another 15 opportunities to get better.
It's funny you say that, because I saw even a quote from a basketball side of things, and you can cite basketball examples with Greg
How
Gard.
much different is this team than last year?
With Hepburn and Storr and Essegian all
it's
leaving.
Completely different.
But my point to what you just said is John Tonji, right? He's back-to-back Big Ten Player of the Week, and I saw a quote. And we've all heard these kind of stories, right? He goes, oh, I love the way that the school has embraced me. I want this to be a place long-term. But if he keeps playing this well, I don't think he's going to remember the quote he said after the Greenbrier Classic.
I thought you were going to say, I really like being, let me pull up like a musician. Where am I at this week? I really like being at Wisconsin. And this is the part that I think is going to be super tricky moving forward. College sports we love because stories, Nordy, myself, we like seeing this go from here. Like, your guys' teams will never exist again.
So does transfer portal matter more than
Yes.
high school rankings?
Yes.
Transfer portal is the way. This is the new way forward. If you're not winning in the transfer portal, you're not, unless you're one of the top dogs. And right now, Wisconsin is not. You better win in the portal, and you better win. You better make sure who you're bringing in is going to be immediately impactful.
So how is it that Wisconsin, I know Indiana was a little bit different because the coach left and he brought a lot of his guys with him who were just winners before they got there as well on a different level as James Madison. But overall, how is it that Wisconsin is bringing in guys and they're just not turning out? Like, are they not winning battles when it comes to the transfer portal?
Well,
I feel like they're getting some guys they want.
Elijah Hill's been a pretty good pickup. I think
He
Walker's been a pretty good pickup. So are you going to hit on everybody? You're not going to hit on everybody in a recruiting.
The quarterback position is the one, and I know he got hurt. Tyler Van Dyke got hurt this year, but does Tyler Van Dyke make you a 8-4 team to end the year?
That's the question. We don't know how the season would have been different. Obviously, Braden had, I thought, a really good game the other day. He'd been really inconsistent and too many turnovers throughout the course of this season.
I mean, listen, Braden ain't winning you. He ain't winning you a conference championship.
We may know that, but Old T's providing good perspective here.